Frer.
My
Okay.
apologies. My apologies.
It's all good.
All right. Okay. So, yeah, I have to kind of summarize what we were talking about, right? So here
Okay.
we were talking about raising technical points, right? Um, and here the technical points that were needed on the ransomware and encryption of the data files is for you to show us that you understand what ransomware and what encryption means, right? However, you needed to also raise business points, right? That the company will be unable to trade, loss of revenue, reputational damage, etc., right? So I did add this here. Right? As we have received an anonymous email that threatens to encrypt all the data files at head office, we are facing an imminent risk that we might not be able to access data and information for our clients or for, and therefore we won't be able to operate, right? The encryption might be limited to the data at our head office since there is a hot backup available, right? There is, however, a possibility that the hackers also had access to our backup, according to the head office speculations, head of IT speculations. If this is the case, it therefore implies that we will not have access to all the data thereof. So here, this is where we said you must have raised two scenarios. One, right, if the hot backup has not been compromised, then there will be no effect, right? Now, but if the hot backup has been compromised, right, then we now will suffer all these.
While we're there on the hot backup, is it advisable to demonstrate your understanding of the hot backup? Because there are two. There's a physical hardware that you can do an online backup on, and the one that you raised last time, which is secured, a cloud-based solution. If I get into a little bit of that, demonstrating that I do understand these things, will it to say if the hot backup, because another thing that I got into is that a backup is an offsite storage. But here there was a sort of an understanding from the IT guy, IT security, that it's not an offsite, it's in the same system as the central system. So I don't know whether it was, how could I have approached or used that, or whether it is a point or not.
No, it's not necessary for you to go into the technicalities.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not relevant to the question. Now, remember, when we are breaking down the question, we want to, at the end of the day, answer the question the way it has to be delivered. Remember, you are chasing against time. You are racing against time, and you need to show us that you are answering the question. So all this was a waste of time. All these were unnecessary points, right? We're just supposed to split, that there's no effect. then you need to expand why you say there's no effect. Right? And if the hot backup has been compromised, then we face these effects. Then you expand them, giving reasons why you are saying we face that. Right. Then here, if the ransomware is triggered and the attacker abuses client data, this is where you went straight to the point, which is good, right? We pay 50 million. Here, the risk would be mitigated, but only in the short run. In the long run, this remains as a question in our heads if we did the right thing or not. It is unethical to pay the hackers, right? And in one way or the other, this will always come out, right? This will always come out in one way or the other, right? So since this always comes out in one way or the other, we may not be affected now, but we will certainly be affected in future. Now, do not tell us what should be done by the team or what the team should do, because that has not been asked. You should limit yourself to the questions that have been requested. Okay.
And then maybe touching on an extra thing that we would be creating an expectation or encouraging the hacker. Is it relevant in there?
That is relevant, yes. Which means we may face the same situation again, right? If a person blackmails you the first time, you give in, they will come for more when they become hungry.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Right. Eric, Priscilla, you are quiet. Is it that you want your scripts and not all right. You do not want me to focus on Linda's script. Let me finish on his script, then we look at your scripts. But I need you to also contribute when we are discussing his script, please. Yes, Eric?
Oh, no, that's fine by me. I was just thinking, would you send us this leader script or what? Because I see you putting notes there.
Yes.
Because I'm sure we did make the same mistakes. So
yes. That's what we are doing in this session. We are looking at each of the 3 scripts, marking them this way. Then with this video, then I'll send the scripts to each one of you.
That's fine. That's fine. We're taking notes.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Priscilla, any thoughts?
No, not really. No, I didn't know that we were allowed to comment. I thought it's the teacher and the script writer. We didn't want to.
You're allowed. 20 marks were required here. Am I right? It was 40%, right? Or was it 60?
It was 65%.
65 on top.
So it was 35 marks.
35 points, right? 35, yeah, 35, not 35 marks. It was 17.5 marks.
The points, was it not marks 35? Yeah, it should be 35.
No, the percentage is 35, right? Am I right?
Times 50.
65, right? On top. So you divide by 2.
No, it's 60 on top and 40.
60 and 40, which means it's 20 marks here.
No, it was 65 on this one, Monash Task B. It was 65 on the first one and 35% on the second.
Which is 17.5 marks. You divide.
Why do you say 17.5? Is it not each out of 50? And then times 65?
Yeah, so
Being
if you
32.5.
35% times 50, or 35%
this-
of 50.
Oh, subtask, you are on subtask. Oh, you're still on the first one, sorry. My
Oh,
bad. My bad. It's 40 marks on this one, subtask B. It's
or 40 marks, of 40%. So 20 marks.
Yeah.
20
You are
marks.
still on task one, eh?
Yeah,
Yes.
but task
This
B,
one. Yeah, okay.
right? So here, I think your enemy here is points,
Mhm.
right?
Yes.
Because the chief information officer, you do raise, establish the timelines of attack, including the attacker made contact when the attacker is due to be triggered. So why you are raising points and not expanding them,
Mhm.
right? Establish timelines of the attack, right?
Mhm.
Including when the attacker made contact, right? Now, why are you saying this is the CIO's responsibility?
It's because it's him who must actually investigate and come up with the response plan to the
But you are not telling us that.
board.
But you're not telling us that. In other words, you want us to assume that you get what I'm saying?
I'm with you.
Yes, but yet the points are correct, but these points need to be expanded to give us reasons why these are the responsibilities of the chief information officer. It falls within his department, right? He's the head of cybersecurity, or he heads the cybersecurity team, and the cybersecurity team needs to establish the timelines of the attack. When did the attack actually happen, right? This can also expose the conditions that were in existence at the time of the exposure, right? Helping us to actually trace the attackers better, right? And give us more information about the nature of the attack, if the attack is actually there. So that's how you expand. So you could have expanded more here. Now, I like this one. Implement additional security measures to reduce the risk of attack, right? Such as deploying additional firewalls. And why are you not talking about certain activities like malware analysis? So there's a lot.
I did think about that, including the reverse. What is it? Is it a reverse Is it the same one? I did think about those, Monash.
Okay.
I don't know why I was limiting myself, probably because of the discussions we had before on this smoke.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, I hear you. I hear you. But those must have been raised. You wanted to talk about reverse engineering.
Is it reverse engineering whereby it goes and it can reverse and trace how did it happen,
Yes.
and then probably reverse it?
It's not probably reverses. You are just trying to understand the nature of the breach.
Yes, yes, it does that as well. Yes.
Yes. So
Okay.
you need the chief information officer needs to understand the nature of the breach, right? By carrying out extensive reverse engineering, right? By carrying out malware analysis, then you explain deeper these things in order for you to have your business skills marks as well, right? But the direction which you were taking is good, right?
Okay.
Now, the board. Now, I like the fact that you start with decision making on how to respond to the attack. That's good. This is a valid point, but more points could have been raised there when it comes to the board. What else could the board do? Any thoughts?
So, well, the first one you raised that I put in the wrong place to communicate to the clients
With
whose
stakeholders.
systems were.
So not only clients, various stakeholders,
Mhm.
right? Because you need those charged with governance to communicate with,
Yes.
to decide when, how, right? And to actually convey the information to the various stakeholders, because different stakeholders require different media of communication. The way you communicate to a customer is different from the way you communicate to the investor.
Mhm.
Imagine you do not communicate with the investor, then the investor hears about this from the media.
Yeah, there will be trust issues.
Yes, they'll be furious because you have not been upfront with them.
We are not transparent.
Yes. What else could the board do?
Could they be monitoring the actions that are implemented by the CIO
Before
and maybe evaluate
the
those?
monitoring, right? They should task the CIO, right? And other departments on what to do. Then you tell us what the CIO and the other departments could be doing or could be tasked with, right? Then monitor, right? Maybe through the audit committee. Right? Then the issue of communicating, constant communication or constant reporting to the various stakeholders. Then that is what we call risk reporting. They should also decide on the nature of reporting that must be done. Remember, there are various risk reports that can be written there, especially in association to cyber risk reporting, right? They can use the AIC triad, right? They can use ISO 27001, right?
Mm.
And the AICP A1 and others, all right? Now, the second question was looking at an evaluation of whether or not this could be the reason for the decline in the share price. Remember, when we discussed this in our previous meeting, we did state that there is somehow a correlation that is being raised here. There is causation that we are being asked of.
Mm-hmm.
Now, good description on short selling. I'll give you a mark for that one. Okay. Now you're saying this suggests, okay, let's, I have a 3 o'clock meeting. I was hoping that this class would be over by now. All right. This suggests the decline in share price. Let me do this. Right, I'm going to end this session now. Then I will send you the scripts. Then we can meet again tomorrow in the afternoon after church. Is that fine with you guys? Right around 3. Then we can proceed. I was hoping that will take an hour to finish this, but I see.
Okay, that's fine by me.
All right.
I'm happy with that as well.
Okay, great. Priscilla?
Yeah, it's fine.
All right, no problem. So I will not proceed marking. I'll only mark when we are together, when we are in class.
Okay. Thank you.
But
Thanks.
Oh, I was thinking that you can
I'll
mark, then
I'll
we
mark
can just
better.
discuss.
I'll mark better when I'm discussing with you, and I think it will
Oh, okay.
actually add more value to you as I'm marking, then we are interacting. Because if I make a mistake, you guys can also tell me that I've made a mistake.
Oh, okay.